Hello everyone and welcome to Assetto Corsa. It's the new game of the month and this is the first menu you are presented with in Assetto Corsa, and these are the wheel options. Now I've jumped straight to this because it was a little awkward to set up the filming anyway of this, but I had a quick go and the car wouldn't move an inch, so I figured they must have missed something and this was it. So you got to select your wheel, and in the bottom left you can see one of the bars has gone orange. I'm just messing with the wheel to make sure that it's working first, just turning it to the right slightly. So you can do that with some of the pedals as well, the pedals will move. But in that top left hand corner you can select a preset really, and I'm going to go for the G27 900 degrees no H shifter, because that's the wheel I'm using, and of course I just want to get used to the flappy paddles. So I then have to run to my chair because of the way the computer's set up. You've got to go for the mouse and my chair's a mile away. Get in and straighten the wheel, realise it's working, and we can kick off the race. So there we go, and instantly jump to second gear, and in there you instantly then see the green racing line. Unfortunately for me, that means aids are still on, so that's bad news, and also a lot of understeer there, which I assume is because of the aids. So I want to jump back out again, and let's get those aids off because we don't want to drive with the aids on. So now it was a question of where are they. So these are the options for Assetto Corsa. There's 1,000,001 options actually, to be fair. As you can see, you got video, audio, controls, profile, and general. General's got all this stuff in. I just want the driving aids turned off. But then I start to think, okay, it must be where you select the race, and this is where you select the events. So I find out that there's these buttons, because literally I've just jumped straight into it before, and you can select all these. We've got Faster, Empire Challenge, Showdown. The 500 race looks really good actually, but I wouldn't mind trying that one in the future to upload for you guys. But we've got these shortcuts up here as well for categorized events, but we're trying the supercar race, which is in the middle left, which we'll select in 1 second. I'm still looking for the driving aids options, but there we go. As you can see, I select Alien, so I want these AI to be as hard as possible as well. Let's get a real feel for the simulator, and finally we see the assists button. So obviously you can select all those options, and I see the aids there straight away. Let's get automatic off, throttle blip off, traction control off, and then I see ABS and I'm sort of thinking, is it going to be like Gran Turismo where ABS doesn't really work as it should do because of the brake bias? I'll keep it on. Let's play around with some of the other stuff. Let's find out what we can do. So you got tyre wears, obviously ×1 I assume is normal. But then I noticed you've got these presets as well. So you got Gamer, Racer and Pro. Now with GT Academy finalists, let's click Pro, and obviously I see ABS is off, so let's go with Pro. Why not? Let's have a bit of fun. And let's kick it off. So once again I have to run as fast as I can to my wheel to sit down. I should probably get a wireless mouse, to be honest, and I'll eventually make it to the wheel, and there we go, straighten up. That's how close it was to starting and me getting to the wheel. So we'll kick off again with a good start, and once again the Lotus comes over. It seems a bit preset, that, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Try and go for a dive bomb early on this M3, doesn't quite work out, and we spin the car. Now one thing I did think of straight away as I'm doing this was, this is probably going to stall like in other PC simulators, so I'll just absolutely slam the throttle, and that did work out. Bit of oversteer, and as you can see the lighting is very good in this game, with the glare, so that's all very good. And now it's more about trying to catch these AI, or whether we can catch them, which was my first thoughts after that little spin, because obviously I put it on Alien, so it's like, okay, how alien are these AI? And to me personally, as you'll see in a second, the back markers at least aren't very alien. They're not that quick at all. A bit of oversteer there, I quite like that, because obviously at the exit of that curb, you'll have the curb which is slightly raised, and the right hand side with the green sort of tarmac, that's going to be lowered, so the car's going over different parts of the track with different wheels, so it's causing an unbalance and oversteer with the car. So that's really good simulation. I really do like that. And we come out of here, and as you can see, we're catching these Lotuses very quickly. Now one of the reasons why we're catching them very quickly, and it's one of the reasons I found out later on in this race. I won't show you all the race because it's a really long one, but I will show you race 2. But in this race in particular, I found out that they really struggle to battle with each other, the AI. Essentially what you have is sort of when they're side by side, they're just constantly braking. It's sort of like they're thinking too much, or there's that much code there to make sure they don't hit each other. That is just, they're just, you know, there's no sort of speed with it, so you can just catch them really quickly. That's why at the start of the race you can just fly through half the field, and then as the field spreads out, it's sort of harder to catch them. Now in race 2, which will be a separate video, but I'll be uploading that straight after this one really, you'll see how much better our race really, and sort of how fast the alien actually is, because actually they are quite fast. But I come in here, as you can see, the rears are locking up a little bit as I come down the gears, and I do like that because obviously the car's now getting unbalanced as I'm braking hard, so I'm going to have to lift off slightly, which I am doing. And I'm just trying to catch these Lotuses. So obviously there, I've already caught up to him now. It's all about, okay, let's race with them, let's see what they can do. And to also see what the car can do as well, because to me there's still a bit too much understeer. Now I've raced parts of this track in real life, in a 370 and a GTR. I raced this part of the track in a GTR, and that was 4th gear in the GTR in the rain, and it was like 5 mile an hour less or something like that, but still I had less understeer in the GTR in the wet compared to this in the dry. So personally I think that needs to be solved slightly. Now most simulators are either mostly understeer or mostly oversteer. You'll always have that with simulators because it's had their take on it really. But I think they just need to drop the understeer just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, and I think they'll be on to a winner right there. But as you can see, we're chasing this M3, and as you saw there, under braking, I caught up to him massively under braking, so I'm not sure what that's about. You see a bit more of the understeer, and this is a very patient corner. Even in GT Academy this was a patient corner, but we come out of this, put our foot down, and look at that, we couldn't catch that one, which I really like, and hit the barrier. Now I've no idea how much damage was caused on that. I think damage is off anyway. But at this point I'm sort of thinking, right, okay, I want that AI to disappear. I want alien, I want them to disappear. But they haven't. Of course, I came on quite quickly, so, you know, but I expect them to disappear a lot faster than that. Come around this corner, bit of understeer there again, and we just bring it back onto track. Now even in the 370Z, that was a 4th gear corner. So, you know, I expect that to be, it needs to be less understeery. Definitely has to be less understeery. So that's one of the key things I've found. Other than that, the game is absolutely, you know, it's awesome from what I've played so far. So we're on this back straight now, and we're going to try and catch this Lotus. Let's make one position at least. We're coming down this straight, we're getting some speed. I expect that in a 458, I expect the speed. Coming into braking, obviously I brake a little earlier, and it's sort of a pretty good braking spot, really good move. Trying to handle this understeer. The Lotus behind just runs a little bit wide, and then we're going to try and catch the next one. But as a first impression, this game has been pretty awesome, and I'll upload more videos and more impressions of this game before I do a review on it, because I will do a review. But remember, this isn't the full game. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.